We could survive that. We could survive that. We could survive it.
Hello and welcome to We Could Survive That, your survival guide to the movies. I'm Jack. And today I'm joined by the man who's the resident expert on evil. It's Chris.
Oh, I like that. I thought he was going to go down the sort of the Red Queen route. That he's going to call me like the Blue King of the Hive, or of the podcast shed, or something like that. But I see what you did there, and I like that. I enjoyed it.
Good, because you're an expert on all things undead and zombie related, and I'm sure you've played all of the Resident Evil games and know them back to front.
Yeah, sure. I mean, when I say yes, I mean I played Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and whilst I love the old horror films, I don't do well in horror games, and that game scared me, and I never finished it because it got too scary. Same thing happened when I tried a game called Outlast. I got far too scary. I only did 15 minutes of that, and I was bricking it, so I turned it off.
You're a big old coward then.
Mate, the game's too scary. But then I work with somebody who thrives on playing horror games in the dark with headphones on and everything, but he won't watch any horror movies.
Because he's a big old coward.
There you go. Yeah, he loves horror games, hates movies. I'm the other way around. I can give me all the horror movies, but I don't know, because in the games, feels like I'm there, man. Feels like I'm there. I'm surrounded by them all.
Well, maybe that's why he doesn't like horror films, because he's got no control over the situation. And maybe that's why, like you said, you hate the games because you've got too much control.
Exactly. I prefer to sit back and watch somebody else try and survive it. I mean, that's what survival experts do. And of course, we are survival experts.
We watch a film and then mock the characters for doing predetermined, plot-convenient actions, don't we?
That's right.
Laugh in the face of these characters that only exist on the screen and in the minds of screenwriters, don't we?
And all the while knowing if we was in that situation, we would do the same and die.
Or would we, though, Chris? Because we do have an ounce of common sense between us, don't we? Do we?
Do we? Would you be a security guard in a mansion for this giant pharmaceutical corporation that's hidden deep underground, that are doing experiments with a genetically engineered virus and creating monsters?
If the pay was good, I'd probably do it.
And you get to live in that mansion, that huge mansion, and you got on the face of it, look like you're a loving couple and you're partnered up with somebody that you quite like. It's a cushiony lifestyle until the gas knocks you out in the shower, of course.
Look, we are going to get into the stuff. All of the fucking nonsense that is this film, Chris.
Do you know what? No matter how much you hate on this film, if you watch the second one, you're going to think this one's an absolute masterpiece.
Well, look, this is the first time I've watched Resident Evil from 2002, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. The W.S. stands for William Shakespeare. It doesn't... stands for William Scott. He directed this. He directed the first Mortal Kombat film. He's also directed Monster Hunter, which came out the end of last year, which is also based on a video game series that I quite like, the Monster Hunter series. I've not seen it, and from what I've heard it's not particularly good. So if you want a video game franchise turned into a film, apparently Paul W.S. Anderson is the guy to do it. Mortal Kombat, I think we both like it for what it is, and I've researched into his mindset as to why he made the film like he did, because it's a prequel to the first game, isn't it? It doesn't follow the events of the game. It's before that, which I kind of understand. You stay away from like the criticisms of, you ruined this particular character or that particular moment.
Yeah.
So I can understand that, but this film is wonky at best.
It's loosely based on the video games, but it is chock full of block full of God, I can't even say it.
Laser chopped up some blocks and it just shattered into this film.
God, yeah. Yeah, okay, you didn't like this film quite clearly. You've got problems with the film. I've watched this particular one, the first Resident Evil film, multiple times because, as I said earlier, out of the series, this is the best one so far. The second one is fucking terrible. It is truly awful. And then you go on to 3 and 4, and they bring it back up a little bit, but they don't get as good as, in my opinion, the first one. So it's an enjoyable film. I've watched it multiple times though. I'm assuming you watched it on Netflix. I think it was on there, but I mean, I also have the DVD of it.
I had to rent it.
You
But
should have called me. I would have sent it to you in the post, first class. You could have borrowed my copy of it.
you wouldn't have paid for a first class stamp, would you? But
I didn't say I was paying for it. I said I'd send it first class. It's implied you're the one who's going to pay for it.
Jesus, so I'd have to send you a stamp. It doesn't matter. Postal system. Doesn't matter. It's too late. It's done now. So Resident Evil, it's getting a Netflix show, I think, as well at some point. There's a new game releasing as well. As far as my exposure to Resident Evil, I played the free demo of the Resident Evil 3 remake, which, again, I don't like horror films, and I don't play horror games, and like the 10 to 20 hours that you can play that demo, depending on how often you cower in a corner, was enough of a horror fix for me. So, yeah, the story of this, Chris.
Yes.
What is it?
Okay, I'm doing this from memory, and because I've seen this film multiple times, but last time I watched it was 2020, early 2020. Yeah, it was 2002. Okay, let me cast my mind back. So we got Mila Djokovic, if I'm not mistaken, is playing the character of Alice. The film starts with her waking up in a mansion. I think there's a bit before it, but I can't remember it. But she wakes up inside a mansion. She's got amnesia, and a group of men burst in, or men and women who are like these commandos, and it's like, oh my god, all these people, what's going on? And it's very quickly revealed that they all work for the Umbrella Corporation. There's a huge corporation that's all over the world, and they make all sorts of things for people, and they've got a pharmaceutical department. And this mansion they've come into is a front for an underground base called the Hive, where they're manufacturing a T-virus, which is the whole virus that causes a mass zombie outbreak or turns people into mutant creatures, or they can create sort of mutant animals from scratch. And Alice is slowly getting her memories back, and she goes with the commando team. I believe there's a police officer as well who's saying he's just transferred or he's investigating. And they go down to the Hive to discover what happened, because somehow it's revealed in the film, but not right away, that the virus breaks out and the Hive was locked down and it's killed everybody inside. And there's a child AI called the Red Queen, and it's amazing.
Is it?
Now your turn for criticism. List all the things you thought were shit.
Well, look, I think the film suffers. Well, it definitely suffers from bad editing. For a start, it is extremely choppy in certain places where characters are together and then inexplicably, for no reason, they are separated and then thrown back together again. The editing is just shockingly bad.
Okay,
the soundtrack
right. I've got my counter argument for the editing. Hang on. The director stated that some of the camera angles and scenes were meant to be filmed as if they were on the video game, the early video games. That's why it's so choppy.
No.
Like, what do you mean no? That's
not why. That's like
Yes, it is.
shots and stuff. That's not why characters are together and then in the next scene they're not together. That's nothing to do with the camera angles. That's just bad laying out of the story. That's just
I think you find it's the game not rendering fully.
It's not the game. It's not the game not buffering. It's not the load time of the game. It's not me saving the game, coming back a week later and forgetting where I am in the game, because it's a film, Chris. It's a fucking film. It's a film with bad editing. I won't say anything about the CG. It's not aged particularly well, but I like Asylum films, so what the fuck do I know?
That is true, actually, yes.
Alice's character, Mila Djokovic's character, Alice, she is a security guard, but for inexplicable reasons, she can do Matrix-level styles of kung fu that nobody else in the film has the capacity to do.
We should fucking wait till the later films too. She gets powers.
Look,
I'm telling you, she gets powers.
It's mostly a grounded horror film, but then she's busting out gravity-defying Neo levels of kicking and shit. So that kind of brings you out of the film that these characters are in dire situations, and then she's just leaping up into the air, spinning around. She's shooting like 7 dogs, all of them with perfect headshots before they can close a very short gap when she's cornered, and she blinks every shot and then they're all dead anyway. It's yeah.
I think you'll find it's 2002. It's early 2000s action horror. He's done it precisely right. You slow-mo, running up the walls, you do your backflips and your kicks or whatever, you do your ridiculous headshots. That's perfect. That's what makes his film so enjoyable and fun to watch.
No.
You just got a chip on your shoulder about this movie, haven't you? You went into this movie wanting to hate it.
It never appealed to me. This, The Matrix, the Underworld films, none of those were ever on my radar of films that I would like. I was quite surprised by the first Matrix films. The other two were just crap, but the first one was at least decent. It's watchable, but there are elements that just don't gel well in a horror film, like someone be able to do a gravity-defying kick. It just doesn't make sense. Zombies being knocked out, Chris, with kicks and stuff, that doesn't make much sense at all. Can you knock out a zombie?
Well, I mean, the number one rule of zombies, in it, you destroy the brain, you kill the zombie. So you kick that brain hard enough, yeah, you're going to take the zombie out. They're not knocked out, they're dead. Her kicks were so powerful, they sustained enough brain damage that it killed them.
I don't think it did, though.
I think you find it did. And in the later films, when she summons a ball of fire in the air to take out mutated crows, then you tell me it's ridiculous.
Wow, I cannot wait for that.
Which we all know you're going to watch because you said it yourself. You start a series, you got to finish it. Oh, I can't wait for you to see the second one.
I am a completionist, Chris, to my detriment. Yes. The Red Queen stuff, I think this is a angle of the plot that could be solved quite easily by the Red Queen sending an email and going, hey, Umbrella heads, there was an outbreak of a virus. I'm a smart computer, so I killed everyone because you probably programmed me to, because you're an evil business company. Don't send anyone down here. Let's just let the zombies decompose underground safely.
Huh. Yeah. I never thought of that.
And then, because Umbrella's a dickhead company, they send in like the SWAT team anyway, rather than the spooky AI going, you're all going to die down here. Just tell them on the loudspeaker as they bust into the house, hey, there's been a contamination underground. You shouldn't go down here. Look, here's some video from the cameras that I have all over the base. There are zombies. If you go down there, they'll eat you.
Why are you ruining the film for? Why not? Why you got to say something sensible like that and stop them from going down there and ending the film after 10 minutes it's been on? Why would you do that? Why don't you want them to go down there? Did you not enjoy the laser grid scene in the hallway?
Fuck me, that's very easy to survive, Chris. I don't know why they had such a hard time doing that.
Okay, yeah, all right. Go on then, how they survive.
There is a section at the end of the corridor where the door to the Red Queen's room is that's not covered in glass. It's like concrete bits, and there's enough for you to stand there. And the lasers obviously can't go there because the laser grid doesn't go that far. So if you just stood at the end of that room, you'd be fine.
Yeah, but you have to get down the corridor to get there first, don't you? Isn't it? And then they've got to get... That's the point they've got to get to. They've got to get past the lasers.
Yeah. Well, the leader of the SWAT team, Shade, played by Colin Salmon, he gets there at the start, and then for some reason the Red Queen comes back online and he can't press the buttons or whatever. If it just stayed there and told everyone else to stay back and not come down the corridor, he would have been fine. The laser grid wouldn't have been able to get him. Also, the laser grid cuts through everything, people, metal. Why doesn't it cut up the bag that's in the corridor full of the computery stuff that turns off the Red Queen?
I don't know. Was the bag directly in the corridor?
yes, because Alice and
Yeah,
the computer nerd go in and pick it up and then walk through, so it should have been destroyed.
No, because it didn't. It doesn't always go as a full grid. As a
Gwyd.
grid. It doesn't always go as a full grid. It doesn't always go as a full grid. It's sometimes just a line, isn't it? So that it was trying
Yeah.
to kill the guy, so it just ignored the bag. That's why.
No, but it went as a full grid the last time, and it should have obliterated everything in that corridor. The dead
Obviously
bodies, the bags,
No.
everything.
Obviously transformed into the full grid after it had passed the bag. The full grid formed after it had gone past the bag.
No.
Duh. Plot convenience. What do you mean? No, don't. You can't. The film is
it
flawed.
doesn't.
You cannot call bullshit on anything.
Again, why does the Red Queen not say, hey, you're going to shut me down, rather than threatening them and going, you're all going to die, bitches? Just tell them, hey, look, there are zombies. You should not be here.
Because the Red Queen doesn't really care. This is the problem with when you get these super advanced AIs. They all turn into dicks. There has never been a super advanced AI that has been completely helpful. They always end up stabbing you in the back, or they always setting you up like, I'm not going to go against you, but I'm not going to really help you either. I'm just going to give you a creepy, cryptic message. And what did you expect? The Red Queen's projection is a small child. Childs in horror films are never a good sign. They're always either the target of the monster that drags the other characters in and gets them hurt, or they are the threat, the monster that's in the film.
Look, I've never been scared of children, Chris, in horror films, because they're children and I am a fully grown man. I could beat up a ghost child or a zombie child. Or
I don't know.
the projection of a robot child. But
You're not going to beat it up, though, are you? It's a projection. But what I'm saying is, as soon as the AI appeared and it was a child, if that had been me, I would have been going, oh, great, we're fucked. It's a creepy child. Of course, it's going to give us scary messages.
it's not helpful
people
at
who've never
all.
watched a horror film before.
Yeah. Would you class this as a horror film?
Well, it's a zombie movie, isn't it? So it automatically falls under the genre of horror. It's not horror as in scary in the slightest. Or clearly, it's not scary. But any type of zombie film, if it's got a zombie in it, it falls under horror. Horror, does it? Zombieland, it's a horror comedy because it's got zombies in it. Because they're a monster, it just falls under that.
Okay. I'd say it leans more towards action. And all there's one jump scare that it uses over and over again where a character looks off into the distance and then somebody turns up behind them and goes, are you okay? Or says something that makes them jump. It does that a lot in the opening and throughout. That's its one
Yeah, but
scare.
how else do you build tension in a movie? Are you telling me there's more ways to build tension than, is someone going to touch them from behind?
Yeah. Just
No.
and most of them are false jump scares anyway, because it's always a friend or someone from the SWAT team.
Yeah.
Just
What's wrong with that?
bullshit. It's
You look
bullshit.
into the distance and then Michelle Rodriguez is grabbing your shoulder to say something to you. That's classic way to build tension. It's like you've never seen an early 2000s movie.
Yeah, I wish I hadn't. They're not very good, are they?
No, they're not. But this film has I enjoy this film. I will watch this movie again, undoubtedly.
But you didn't for the podcast.
No, because I couldn't find my DVD, so I'd send it to you in the post.
Well, you're never finding it again, because the Royal Mail have definitely lost it. There's a plot twist, though, Chris, because it turns out that the person that Alice is on duty with, Spencer, who are both security guards up in the mansion, it turns out that Spencer started the outbreak for Alice, because they were fake married, but then they were obviously bored and alone at the house. They started having passionate sex, I'm sure, Chris. And then Spencer went, okay, I'll go down and get her what she wants, which is to take down Umbrella, and then we can sell some virus and run away together. And it turns out after the forgetful gas, that's not what Alice wants. So Spencer tries to trap them in the hive and then runs away, but then gets eaten by a licker. Now, why would you gas your security team with forgetful gas when they could accidentally open a door and unleash a bunch of zombies and they're not prepared for it, and they've forgotten that they've got gravity-defying kung fu skills.
I don't think that they could open the door. I mean, Alice wasn't going to be able to open up the door. They had to be this SWAT team, commando, whatever. People had to open it up for her, didn't they? And I think
She had
maybe
security codes, and Spencer had security codes, so they can get down into the hive if they want to.
Oh
But
yeah,
is
but
that-
I mean, after
that
their
why-
memory's been wiped, they're not going to do it, are they?
Yeah, is that why, though, that Umbrella had this contingency plan for forgetfulness?
Oh, well, yeah, because, all right, imagine a rival company or a militia or whatever broke into the mansion. They knew about the hive. They break into the mansion to get down there. Alice and Spencer, assuming Spencer was up in the mansion at the time, they both get gassed. Oh, look, neither of them can remember how to use the codes or where anything is, or that there's even this secret organization or facility beneath them. So the people that have broken the mansion aren't going to be able to get anything out of them. And then, by the time their memory comes back, Umbrella's probably sent in their own team to take out the intruders. So that's probably the thinking behind it, the amnesia gas.
What if they've got vital information that would help the first responders in that situation?
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, Alice had vital information to help the first responders in this situation, and it doesn't really matter because they still got in without her. But, I mean, her memory clicked too late. It was her Spencer that sort of set it off.
It might have saved some lives, though.
Yeah, but it's a Resident Evil thing. It's not about saving lives. It's about killing zombies and other monsters.
Well, there wasn't really a lot of zombie action in it, really.
Do you not think? I thought there was an okay amount for it.
There's not much. There's the suspenseful stuff, and then they fight the robot until about the 30-40 minute mark. Then there's the scene of the zombies in the weird tank room. Then the zombies in the tunnel and the elevator. But then after that, there's not a lot. It turns to the CGI liquor thing, which they fight on a train.
That's really painful on the eyes, isn't it? Yeah, that's CGI. Cool, because every time I watch this film, I forget how bad the CGI is aged. So when it does pop up, I always think, "Oh Christ, that is not good." They go more prosthetic-y in the second one for the big bad monster in that.
Well, they did have prosthetics in this, or at least a practical element to it. So it's got that. The zombie dogs as well, they were mixed between puppets, CG, and dogs that they just covered in jam.
Oh, those poor dogs.
I hope they were all right.
Well, I mean, it's 2002. I think they had animal safety people on films then, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. Then that's fine. Whoever was supervising that went, yes, the dogs will be fine in raspberry jam. Go ahead.
No, stop licking the jam. Stop it.
Yeah.
Bad dogs. Bad. Naughty dogs. Spencer was a bad guy. Alice wasn't very good either because she decides to send someone down into the hive to try and get the virus stuff anyway, but Spencer got there before she did. So they're both
That's
bad
right, yeah,
security guards.
They are both bad security guards. Because isn't it Alice, she's let somebody in, or somebody's infiltrated the hive, I think called Lisa, and Alice is working with her to help her smuggle out some of this T-virus to expose Umbrella. And then this police officer that turns up is Lisa's brother, isn't it?
Yeah, Matt. I don't think he's really a police officer. They're just against... Yeah, they're against Umbrella because they're doing illegal shit.
Illegal shit. They're only messing around with this virus that creates zombies. I'm sure Raccoon City won't suffer from that at all.
Well, it does, because they get captured. Matt's infected, and he's going to be put into the Nemesis program. Do you get it, Chris? Do you get it? They said the name of the thing from the video game.
I did get it. I did get it. And what about the side of the train? It says like Alexei 5000, but in the game it says something with G 5000 on the side of it. I forget what that was called now. And then, oh God, what other references were there? There was more, but I forgot all of them.
Because you didn't suffer through the film a second time. Son of a bitch.
Second time, I must be in double digits, or close to double digits amount of times I've seen the first one.
Jeez, why?
I don't know, I like it. I go back to it. I like it. I wince at the CGI, and then I forget about it. And then a year and a half later, I might give it another watch. If it's on there, I'll watch it. Let's just do. But I'm not watching the second one again. That one was a load of fucking bullshit.
At some point in the near future, we will have to watch the second one, Chris.
Oh, but it's got the Nemesis creature in it. It's so bad. Oh, the fishnet vest. Oh, who could forget that? Oh, no.
These are things that do not mean anything to me, Chris.
The motorbike and the church. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Oh, someone rides a motorbike in a church.
Why do you do this to us?
Well, you
We could have a
probably won't.
nice show.
You won't even bloody watch it anyway. I'll have to suffer through it again. With you
Yes.
barely remembering shit.
That's what gives the show its charm, though.
No, it's just
And
really
character.
frustrating. Survival tips, Chris, from any of the deaths that you barely remember.
My overall survival tip is to get gassed with the amnesia stuff in a more secure location in the mansion, not in the shower. So you're somewhere else when you fall over, that when you wake up, you can just hide somewhere. So when the commando team goes in and goes underground, you can just go and escape. Done.
Well, if
Don't go down
she
to the
hadn't,
hive at all.
if she hadn't woken up, that I don't think the team would have searched the whole building for her. They'd have just left her in the shower. I mean, she was lucky she woke up at all, because head injuries, that could have been serious. Also,
I was
how
thinking
come
that as well,
Spencer
yeah.
got forgetful gassed on the train? Is the train hooked up? Is the train a moving platform hooked up to a pipe that releases forgetful gas?
I think everywhere got forgetful gas blasted, didn't it? The whole hive. So just probably doesn't come out into the train, but just where the train was in that underground bunkery bit before it goes down to the hive. That's probably where it came from.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. What about you open up the elevator and then there are zombies in the elevator and they grab you?
Oh, well, I mean, didn't the guy from oh god, what's the film called? #Alive do this, where it opened up, he just turned around and legged it, didn't he?
Yeah.
There you go, done it. So
Except he was too busy chatting up Michelle Rodriguez's character to notice.
well, there's another thing you do in horror films, especially if you're one that involves monsters or zombies or something like that. When you open up your elevator, you push the button and then it's come back. You take a step back from the elevator, so it does open and there's a creature in there and it lunges out at you. There's some gappage between you, so you can turn and run or hit it depending on what it is and what you've got. You never stand up close and you never turn your back on an open fucking elevator.
Oh yeah, I forgot you don't like elevators, do you? So the opening scene where they're all trapped in the elevator.
Well, they're all crammed into an elevator. Oh god, fuck that.
They open up the doors, someone tries to squeeze out, and then the elevator cuts off their head.
Ugh. God, see, flashbacks now. That's why you never use fucking elevators. But if you have to, and you've called one to you, you take a step back so when the door's open, you don't turn your back on it, you have your guns ready. In fact, when the door's open, just shoot into it regardless before you've even checked. Just open fire immediately into there.
But technically, the elevator shouldn't have worked because the Red Queen just drops them. In real life, if an elevator drops, there are buffers at the bottom that stop it.
Unless,
slow
of
the
course,
speed.
you don't have them in this.
Oh, because Umbrella, they don't care, do they?
Aren't they? They're making a super contagious, murdering virus that turns people into monsters and zombies. Do you really think they care about elevator buffers?
Nah, probably not. What else happens? Zombie dogs? You survive them? Give them a treat?
Dogs
Chuck
and
'em a
jam,
bone.
do their commands with them. They must be well-trained dogs anyway, so probably, stop and sit and whatever, and then they probably would have done it.
Yeah.
Zombies remember bits of their past lives. Luckily for you, these guard dogs remember their commands.
I don't think these zombies do. They're just shambling Romero-style zombies, aren't they?
Oh, so the ones that always remember. Oh, what the zombies in this? You're saying, sorry.
Yeah, they're not intelligent. They're not.
Oh, okay,
They're not deep, meaningful. Let's talk about the meaning of life and commercialism. They're not.
George,
There's
have you
nothing.
seen Land of the Dead? That's a George A. Romero film, and
Yeah,
his zombies have got memories in it and stuff.
Yeah, this isn't that. This isn't trying to do anything new with zombies. They're just there to be shot at and bite people. They're not. This isn't a deep, meaningful film. It's just dumb popcorn schlock.
How dare you say popcorn schlock? Who the fuck likes to eat popcorn while watching a movie? Disgusting.
Right. I've had enough of talking about this film, and you clearly barely remember it. So I've had enough. Next week, it's Valentine's Day, so let's do something romantic.
Something romantic. Oh, okay. I'll come back to you on that. I can think of something perfect, probably.
No. I was going to say, shall we do one of those crap Fatal Affair style films where
God, no.
someone's too in love with someone else?
Actually, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. No, I want you to suffer through this. Yeah, okay. There's one called My Secret Obsession. Do that one.
Yeah, sure. Is it on Netflix? Do I have to pay for
It's
it?
a Netflix original. Oh, you're gonna. It's the same guy that did Fatal Affair.
Oh, goody.
It's called Secret Obsession. I'm pretty sure it's the same guy because I think you said about
yeah.
about it. So yeah, it's the same director. So yeah, watch that. You can enjoy.
Good. Then we'll do something I'll actually like the following week, hopefully, yeah?
Yeah, do that one about the sofa that eats people.
Killer Sofa.
Yeah.
Gonna be a good run of films, isn't it? It's not gonna not gonna upset me at all. Might be worse than that time I did Supergirl and Elektra. That almost
God.
broke me. I won't lie.
Well,
Right.
I look forward to your Secret Obsession review. This is going to be beautiful.
Good. You got to rewatch it though.
I will try because this film was not great. I think I liked it more than Fatal Affair though, so maybe I'll give it a second rewatch and hate it all over again though.
Yeah. Find out, Chris. You might have really enjoyed Resident Evil and been able to defend it more virulently, but yeah, we'll never know now, will we?
Place my damn DVD. I'm not going to pay for a movie I already own somewhere. Thank you to everybody who's been listening to We Could Survive That, your weekly survival guide to movies that Jack really hates. We're going to see you next week for another one that he surely won't like. But until then, keep on surviving and goodbye.